Today, we invite you to sample a little something on the menu, the CLT Sandwich. It may be foolish to only have one item on the menu, but nevertheless, we assure you that this one sandwich, stuffed with unnatural creatures, figures of legend, tales beyond worlds, and ancient lore long forgotten by the masses, will fill that never-ending hunger that is your life. So sit down, relax, and enjoy your meal that is the CLT Sandwich.
Hello, and welcome. My name is Anthony Denny, and today with me is Jared Minikheim.
Welcome.
You might know us from What Nodcasts, Fireside Chats, among other podcasts.
Correct.
Today we are doing a pilot for my podcast called the CLT Sandwich. Now you might be thinking, what does CLT mean?
Country, trucks, and language.
Well, that's the CTL, whole different podcast.
Oh, you're correct.
We are on, this is for Cryptids, Legend, and Tall Tales. Ever since I was young and little, I've always loved, monsters, cryptids, shit like that.
You got the Loch Ness Monster, you got Bigfoot, Mothman, aliens, there's tons of stuff.
Yeah.
This is all fun.
Yeah. And so it's basically taking cryptids, taking myths, taking tall tales, taking legends from around the world, and I'm looking into them.
Going to take you on a world-class trip that's going to cost you absolutely nothing and maybe even scare you from ever wanting to go anywhere.
Yes. And today we're actually going to be going to Scotland.
Oh.
For our first creature.
Oh,
aye. Oh, aye. The Scots ruining Scotland.
Going down to Scotland Yard, going to see my girl, oh my. Alright, so what are we partaking and tasting in Scotland?
Well, today we're tasting a water shape-shifting horse.
Ooh, I love the water horse meat sandwich.
Yummy. It's the Kelpie.
Ooh, Kelpie. Sounds like an ex-girlfriend that you just don't ever want to mention ever again.
Yeah, the Kelpie,
No one ever talks about Kelpie.
Yeah, no one ever talks about Kelpie. So, the Kelpie is from Scotland from the 6th to 9th century, but it was first described by name in the 18th century.
That's old.
And what it is, it is a shapeshifter who takes two different forms. Either a horse, typically a black horse, or a very beautiful human.
So almost like a sailor trapped at sea seeing a mermaid or a siren, but in this case it's like landlocked Scotland people on a fishing boat and they suddenly see a beautiful woman and they don't come back.
Yeah, essentially. They're found by the locks. A lot of locks in Scotland. You got your Loch
going
Ness
down to the loch to catch me a good catch today, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And, you'll go down to the loch and you'll see this a beautiful black horse.
Everyone loves Black Stallion.
Oh, yeah. And it's really great because they're well known to let people get on them.
Oh, well, if a beautiful horse is going to let me ride it, you damn well I'm going to ride it.
You see, the fun thing about the Kelpie, though, its hide becomes super sticky.
I don't like where this is going.
Yep, as soon as you mount the Kelpie, you are impossible to remove without removing limbs.
Mount?
Well, like a horse, like you ride a horse.
I'm sorry. Are you mounting a lot? I'm just kidding. But so you're hopping on, and you're like, oh, I'll take this horse for a ride. It seems really into me. And then, so it's like a fly trap then? Like you get on and it sticks to anything that you have on?
Yep. Exactly. It starts getting super sticky. And, if you're going to get up on a horse, I know you've used to own horses.
I did. I grew up around horses, yeah.
So when you imagine getting on a horse and it has a saddle on it, you're touching it every way to get up on that horse, aren't you?
Yeah, I have to imagine it becomes sticky after the fact, because otherwise it'll just be having some dude halfway up it and dragging on the ground. Interesting.
Well, you see, after you're nice and stuck to it, the Kelpie does the best thing in the world.
Learns how to breakdance?
No, it runs straight into the water. And then it drowns you. And then it eats you.
It's like a reverse crocodile. Instead of having to kill you and drown you, it just drowns you to kill you and eat you. That's interesting.
Yep.
And Scotland.
And then it's known for throwing your entrails on the shore where it took you in the water.
Insult to injury.
Yeah, not only does it not eat all of you, but it's like, hey, this is exactly where I went into the water.
Damn. That's messed up. So I also saw a little thing that there was a book written, I would think it was 1768. But they believe that the Kelpie was part of the reason for how Lucifer was depicted in the Bible. Because they said that when it transforms into human form, it still retains its hoof-like feet. So they're like, the Lucifer always having the half of like a goat or something. They're like they think the Kelpie was derivative of that.
And yeah, that makes sense. There's a lot of,
or the Lucifer is derivative of the Kelpie. Sorry.
Yeah, I've been looking into future episodes, and there's a surprising, or not so surprising, amount of blending of a lot of different religions and.
Oh, you see that with anything. Any religion, anything like that. Everybody just kind of starts to copy and paste what they like and change this or change that. It's interesting. But the Kelpie, this is a scary-ass creature. I don't think I want to eat this.
Yes. It was also known to turn into like you said, a human, but it looks so beautiful. And always the opposite gender of his victim.
What if you were
So it's not
gay?
always a beautiful one. Well, then it would be probably...
I want you to come into the water with me. Just hold on to my beautiful pecs. I'll take you. Oh, yeah. It's so beautiful.
Well, from what I've looked into, when it becomes human, it's a lot more daring.
Really?
And it will straight up kill and eat people as that. Like, as a human.
Oh, man, you're so beautiful. You want to come back to my place? Oh, man, she's going down already. She's, oh, God. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
I think that's worse than the mermaid. Getting you to jump into the water, because this thing will just become human and just tackle and eat you. That's more terrifying to me.
Yeah. It's known to try to marry women as well.
Marry people? Are you kidding me?
Yep. There is a whole story about a Kelpie transforming into a human and falling in love with a human.
How do you explain, like, the horse-hoof feet? Like, how do you explain that? Like, I knew I was in love with him from the moment I saw him. Like, yeah, have you noticed that, Jim's got hooves for feet? I mean, I'm not trying to stare.
Well, it turns out if you're suspecting that someone's a Kelpie, they typically have a silver locket on them. Silver necklace of some sort.
Oh, so they're reverse vampires. They like silver. Or, sorry, yeah, reverse vampire werewolf. They like silver.
I mean, yeah, silver's magic and all that. And
I'm sorry.
Again,
just,
this is
any other thing. They always tell you that silver hurts anything that's magical, stuff like that.
Oh, don't worry. We'll get into that in a little bit.
All right.
But yeah, so it is known to kill people, and you can actually also, if you manage to sneak up behind it as a human and just strike it on the back of the head, it'll retreat to water.
So it'll just completely retreat down. Now, are you safe if it retreats back down, or will it come back and kill you?
It'll probably come back and kill you. Probably take a different disguise. But that's also saying you have to sneak up on this thing, know it's a Kelpie, hit it as hard as you can on the back of its head, and hope that it's not a human and just you just murdered someone else.
I was about to say, you imagine if you made a mistake on that one? No, officer, you don't understand. I thought my neighbor Jim was a Kelpie. He was a Kelpie, damn it. That's all really complicated, and I don't want to do that. I want it to just tell me it's a Kelpie so I know what to do and defend my family.
Yeah. So, Jared, let's say from low, medium, high, and all the stuff in between. How dangerous do you think a Kelpie is?
I'd put this one on like medium high, because like I said, like a mermaid, typically they stick to the water and they just seduce you into coming in so that then they can drown and eat you. But this thing, on the other hand, like, not only can it make you go into the water and drown you, but it'll just become a human and chase you down like a feral animal. Like, that's terrifying. So, you know what? I'm going to say this one goes on high, because it can go out of its own element to get you, and that's terrifying.
Yeah. I myself, I have a threat level medium high on my note, so I agree with you.
Aha!
Yeah.
We think alike.
Now,
That was a delicious but terrifying choice to begin the day.
yes. Now, Jared, how do you think you can survive a Kelpie? And how hard do you think you could?
I think I'd survive a Kelpie by closing my eyes and not looking at the beauty and swinging blindly. I don't think I would succeed, and I'm pretty sure I would die every time.
Well, from all the notes I've gotten from different Wikipedias, different websites, the number one and easiest way to avoid being murdered by a Kelpie is to avoid horses and strangers near water.
Yeah, that sounds fair. So just never go near another lock again, and you're fine.
I for one, I'm not a big fan of horses.
Well, what's
Long
wrong with
story.
horses other than, they can kill you?
Chewy is the problem that I have with horses.
Chewy.
He was the first horse I ever rode, and he bucked.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And I was in elementary, so yeah, no, I don't like horses. Not that I hate them, I like them from a distance.
Yeah,
I know I can outrun them.
Yeah, I was scared of horses there for a while. When my stepdad got rolled over by a horse 3 times, and it was
Keep rolling.
Oh, it was keep rolling. All right, because it wasn't broken when it was sold to us, and they were told it was. It wasn't. And slowly but surely, it started to lose its shit because it was just like, all right, this has been fun, but like I don't want to be in this barn anymore. So he thought if he got on and rode it, maybe he took her outside, she'd be fine. Oh God, no! That horse bucked like it was at a rodeo and rolled on him 3 times. And after that, I never really got on a horse again because that was something.
Yeah, no, they are. The Kelpie is basically what I imagine if a horse wasn't a prey animal.
Yeah.
But so other ways you can kill it. You can actually kill the Kelpie or
Silver?
stop it. Yeah, you can kill it with a silver bullet.
Called it. It's a fucking werewolf?
I just have silver bullet, or there's actually something else you can do. Well, silver bullet doesn't actually kill it. It just turns it into a soft, mass-like jellyfish.
So if I shoot it with a silver bullet, I can turn it into just a giant bowl of jelly that I can just dispose of, I'd hope.
Apparently.
I mean, if I get killed by that, then it's the blob, and now we know how it was created.
Oh, yeah. Or you can use heated iron.
Heated iron.
Heated iron.
Aye, lass, get me the heated iron. We don't have it anymore. Son of a bitch. Modern age. Yes, you're fucked today then, because, like, unless you know how to make a bullet, you're not really going to get a silver bullet.
Nope.
And we don't really keep iron just heating around at a blacksmith anymore, so that'll be a little difficult to get.
Nope.
God, I can only... is this thing still murdering today, do you know? Is there any...
I mean, of course, there's always legends about it. You know, don't go near that lock at this time or else you'll see a horse. So it's like, it's become one of those tales like Bigfoot or anything like that.
Huh. Bigfoot, friend of the show.
You can also... yeah. Big friend of the show. Can't wait to have him on.
Oh, can't wait. Just got to find him.
You can also perform an exorcism on it.
Now, is it what kind of exorcism? Does it give a more, because, you know, it could be different than a normal Christian, the power of Christ compels you kind of thing.
I'm pretty sure it's one of the, but that doesn't kill it.
Of course it doesn't kill it. Nothing seems to kill this fucking thing.
It just removes his saddle. Which, it gets better. So you can get the saddle off of them, the bridle in the saddle, and if you point it at someone, they will turn into a horse.
What the fuck? Are you for real?
I'm for real. That is a thing.
Come on out to the barn. I'm gonna show you this new saddle I've got. Yeah. So you're gonna marry my daughter, are you? Not anymore. Just
guys, I got this fresh news. Yep, turns him into a horse. Just turns him into a horse. Why? Don't know.
This is such an oddball, like, creature of folklore. Like this. What were people smoking that they came up with that if you take the saddle off, pointed at somebody, like, oh, now they're your horse? Like, who in their right mind was sitting down coming up with that?
Apparently people from the 6th to 9th century Scotland. Those Scottish.
Bunch of mead drunken bastards, probably. Love you, Scotland.
Probably.
But yeah, I'd say you're not surviving this one. Considering the only ways it seems they can hurt it, nothing kills it. Yeah, I don't think you're surviving a Kelpie. I'm pretty sure it'll come back for revenge at some point.
Oh, probably. So, avoid the water, avoid strangers. Now,
yeah, if you're in Scotland, don't go to the loch.
Yeah, watch out. It's actually really funny because there are known to be a lot of them around Loch Ness.
I did read that there were a lot at Loch Ness, and I'm like, huh. That's fun. Like, you know, you got the Loch Ness Monster in the loch, and now apparently Kelpies are really big. So that's... I'm just never going to go to Loch Ness.
Yeah. And actually, a sculpture was made of the Kelpies. 2 giant horse heads, I think they were. It's made in 2013.
I saw something about that it popped up.
Yeah, 2 horse heads. So, Jared, why do you think the Kelpie was made?
You know, I'd have to say probably like anything else, a cautionary tale. Not going near the water, maybe just something to keep kids to not go near the water and drown when they don't have supervision. The whole marrying thing, I mean, that could be a number of fucking things, but I think the majority of it would probably just be to make sure kids behave when they're near the water and they're not drowning.
Oh, yeah. I think that too. Also, with the marriage thing, I think it's to stop young women from going up to strangers and talking to them. Could you imagine that? Like, oh, you little lass, let me tell you, don't go up to strangers, because they might be a horse shapeshifter.
Hey, you want to see my big horse cock? Hey, he might be a Kelpie. I mean, either way, that seems to be the general thing, is keeping kids in line for the most part on anything that's like a creature. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Especially old ones like that. They're just cautionary tales. But terrifying. That one's more terrifying than a mermaid. I finally found something that scares me more.
Oh, yeah, well, as long as we stay out of Scotland, I think we'll be fine.
Well, I can scratch that one off my bucket list then. Only Ireland.
Only Ireland.
Only Ireland now. So that was very watery. I could use something a little more meaty to go down with it. What's our other sandwich on the menu for today? Or is it a nice pasta?
Well, unfortunately, we only have one thing on the menu, and it is a sandwich. I'm glad that you thought that was super watery, because our next creature we're talking about is the Nuckelavee.
Nuckelavee, yes, my good uncle from Russia.
Nuckelavee. The Nuckelavee. And this is personally my favorite cryptid, legendary creature, or whatever you want to call it.
It is one of the creepiest things I ever had to look up because I didn't know what it was. And once I did find images of what that was, it was terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
This is nightmares.
The description is going to be great. Yeah. So the Nuckelavee, or also known as the Devil of the Sea. It is from Orkney.
Orkney.
Which is also basically Scotland.
Oh, yeah, so Scotland is just a big no.
Yeah, I don't know what is with Scotland and water horses, but Scotland's got two separate water horses.
Somebody got killed by a crocodile a long time ago, and they didn't know how to rationalize it. That's all I can come up with.
Maybe. I mean,
it was a fucking water horse.
I mean, it's clearly going to have something to do with that, because the Nuckelavee came later. It came in the 19th century. So this one clearly has something to do, probably with taking the Kelpie and spinning it a little bit more.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. So what do we got with this one?
Well, it actually also has two forms. There is the land form and the water form. Which would you like to hear first?
Oh, great. Another one that can go on land. Man, mermaids, you ain't got shit, dog.
Nope. So, water or land first?
Let's go water first. I need another drink.
I'm so glad you said water first, because there have been no survivors that have seen this true form in the water.
All right, so we're off to a great start. So we have no idea how it looks.
Nope. The true form of the Nuckelavee, which is water, wherever it lives in the water, no one knows, because by the time it gets to the water, either you are dead or you will be dead.
All right, so that means the one that I saw. All right, great. So let's. What was the land one then?
Well, and this is it's so great. So I'm gonna paint this picture for everyone. So imagine a horse. And then in the middle of that horse's back, where there would be a rider, is a human torso and like arms and a head. Okay. Nice, beautiful picture. Now, none of it has skin. It's all flesh. It also, the human head is about 3 times larger than a normal head, and it also just rolls around. like it doesn't have like a newborn baby. And then we just keep going. The human arms are actually long enough to touch the ground. And under the skin are these thick veins pumping black, gooey blood through it. Yeah. And this is the form that we know.
Now, if you all pictured that, along with me, like a Bob Ross painting, slowly but surely you pissed your pants. You don't know what the thing looks like in the water where it spends most of its time, but that's what we do know about it. And that is fucking horrifying. This thing is straight nightmare fuel. If that thing came at you at any point, it could be broad daylight. You are going to shit your pants and pray to God it's not coming after you.
Yeah.
God.
Well, yeah. The Nuckelavee, unlike the Kelpie, which is very neutral, where it's kind of like playful with this, I use playful very.
Come on, ride me. Ha ha ha.
Exactly. Like, it's tempting, it takes forms, it tries to trick people. The Nuckelavee will just hunt you down and kill you.
I can only feel pain. Oh, God.
And not only is it a nightmare to look at, but it actually does horrible things as well.
Oh, please do entice us all with what it does.
Well, it has a breath that is toxic and is known to wilt crops and sicken livestock.
Oh, we could be best friends.
It is known for being the cause of drought.
So it just stops the rain from coming down?
Yep, it stops the rain from coming down. It causes epidemics.
What kind of epidemics? Like AIDS? Is he the one that caused
illnesses,
AIDS?
sicknesses.
Yep. All right. Well, you heard it here. Caused AIDS.
Yep. It's known to kill a lot of cattle, horses, crops.
So okay. So then, in retrospect, as we were saying there, the Kelpie's like very playful and likes to kind of play with its food, take its time, like a serial killer. But then you have this thing where it's just a straight psychopath that just murders everything and anything it can get its hands on.
Oh, immediately.
That is that's horrifying. I think this one is number one right now.
It also...
Goddamn.
It also brings plagues.
That's great, because who doesn't need more plagues?
And it is known to specifically go after horses, giving them something called mortashine, or is now called ganders, which is creating ulcers, sepsis, nasal discharge, and death inside the horses.
That's terrible. That's just terrible.
Oh yeah, like again, like the Kelpie goes after people. It eats people. The Nuckelavee just
kills everything.
Yeah, and it gets especially angry after people burn seaweed.
I'm sorry, burnt seaweed?
Yes, you would burn seaweed. You would do this to create soda ash, which is to create treat acidic soil. So basically, if you grow too much tomato or something, you would burn seaweed, create this soda ash to alkalize the soil, which is really smart for the 1700s.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But apparently, the smoke from this pissed the Nuckelavee off.
I hate people who smoke weed.
Yes, this was the very first old lady who was against the weeds being smoked.
Oh man, now I know where my grandmother got it. Um, so if you burn seaweed to just make, so basically you're doing something to help yourself live. You can grow your crops and you're gonna be fine. And this thing gets mad just by the process of that. Like it just has to kill everything, not just the thing that caused it.
Yep.
The hell's wrong with that thing?
No idea. It's just an angry, malevolent Nuckelavee.
All right, well...
Oh, and they're also described to be big. Like,
how big?
Big. Like a human, it could grab a human in its hands. Big. Of course, there are multiple accounts, so things change.
Huh. Well, that's...
But yeah.
All right,
So,
Scotland, I'm never going to. It's official.
Yeah. So, what do you think the threat level is?
Oh, this
from
one's
low to
very high.
Yes, this is a very high. I would agree.
Yeah, nothing is surviving that. Like, that comes into town, and it's not a party. It's death. Death and destruction everywhere. That's terrifying.
And, yeah. And again, this is a water creature. It comes in the water. It only comes out when it's angry and wants to kill.
Oh, man. I think it needs a Snicker.
It does. It needs a few Snickers. Now, how you survive the Nuckelavee?
I am very
Would you
curious.
like to know how?
Oh, I would love to know how, because that thing doesn't sound like you can survive.
You cannot.
Oh, that's great. I was right.
Nope. If the Nuckelavee has his sights on you, you are dead. There are stories to say if you cross a river of fresh water, it won't chase you anymore.
It comes from the ocean, but it won't run across fresh water?
Yep, fresh water. So, but I have here on my notes, there are stories saying you can survive it if you cross a river of fresh water. But remember, it can and will outrun you, and it is not a peaceful creature.
Well, the threat level is very high. And as you've heard, folks, unlike the Kelpie there, this one you can't survive. It'll just brutally murder you.
You can't sneak up behind it. It has toxic breath. So, Jared, what do you think the origin? Why do you think people thought it was such an awful, horrible creature?
To explain all the terrible things in the world, like plagues.
That is very, almost word for word what I wrote down on my notes.
That's all I can think, because it causes plagues, it kills people without reason, killing all your cattle and your herds, like killing all your crops, like it's a nonstop onslaught. So that's one of those things, like there's a few creatures that are like that too, where they just have it where like it does nothing good at all. And the whole purpose is just like, the world is shit. Like, things happen for no reason that are terrible. And you know what? It's this thing's fault. That's why it happened. So avoid that thing. That's the only explanation I can think of for something as awful as the Nuckelavee here.
Oh, yeah. I also have a little bit of a theory written here in my notes.
A theory?
Yes.
Is it a
theory of...
game theory?
No,
of course not.
No, it's a theory to why I think the Nuckelavee came up around certain times. Do you remember about 5 minutes ago when I said what pissed off the Nuckelavee, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a scientist, herbologist.
No, I thought you were an
herbologist.
I thought you were an herbologist. I thought you were growing a ton of stuff.
No.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not smart.
No, that's not true.
I thought it was really weird how every time they made the soda ash, horses, animals were more likely to die, crops were more likely to burn. or wilt. So my theory is it had to do something with burning the seaweed that caused a lot of this problem.
I think you're paranoid. I think you need to go back inside. Shut your door. The Nuckelavee is upon you.
The Nuckelavee. Oh, God. So, yeah. And I feel like the Nuckelavee is way underappreciated in history.
Oh, this thing sounds like it was blamed for a lot of things that happened, and there's probably an entire bread trail that could be found leading back to this thing. But no, Scotland, man, like they just have it rough.
Oh yeah.
Go inland.
Like originally,
you have Kelpies. If you go towards the ocean, you have this fucking thing. Like no.
Yeah. Like originally, this was going to be the episode of the Nuckelavee, and then I realized I probably can't talk about only the Nuckelavee for 40 minutes to an hour. So I was looking like similar things, and I found the Kelpie, which is also the Scottish water horse that kills people. And it was just like meant to be together.
Match made in heaven. Or hell, depending.
I don't know. Well, it is the devil of the sea. But, yeah.
The devil of the sea.
The devil of the sea.
I believe it. I believe it.
Now, as we're going to wind down just a little bit. We're going to do a little bit less, enjoy your meal, sit down, relax.
Oh, well, thank you. I've been trying to, but I've been more scared than anything now that I know all of this information.
Yeah.
But I don't live in Scotland, so I think I'm good.
No. Yeah, you should be all fine. Now, as I explained at the beginning, this show is going to be about creatures and legends and stories. Basically, stories that I've run across in my life that I think are legendary. People, because there'll be sometimes when we talk about people who are actually alive. Yeah. And I want to talk about these legendary people. But then we're also... So it's not going to be the very same you're not going to see two creatures every episode. You're not going to hear a story every episode.
But I thought that's what we were doing. I feel like I've been lied to sitting down.
No, it's just a little bit of... We're going to be mixing around. We're going to play how it goes. We're going to see how the flow works.
The flow works.
Yeah, the flow.
Well, I think Scotland is a beautiful place, but I think you have very terrifying goddamn creatures, and I don't know what has caused you to hate everyone so much that you'd bring these into the world. But Scotland, reach out, talk to somebody. Anthony, I want to thank you for inviting me into your restaurant to feed me these sandwiches. I would ask for the check, because I'm too scared to eat, honestly.
Well... Luckily, you pay with your time.
Oh, good. This was fun. Thank you. Really, thank you.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Always, anytime, every time. Where can they find you, Anthony?
Well, as of now, I don't know yet. I haven't fully set up everything 100%, but hopefully this will be on everything that I can put it on. So Spotify, Anchor, Stitcher, all that.
Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, it'll be everywhere. Yeah. But if you want to chat at us about the episode and give us feedback, you can certainly do that. We have the Oddcast Network on our Facebook, at Oddcast on Twitter. And we also have the oddcastmedia@gmail.com. You can tweet it out.
And we also have cryptidlegendtalltales@gmail.com.
Ho, ho, ho! But if you do, if you have any feedback, just tag, tag the show. Just tag the show, really.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you would like me to bring up a certain topic, I have many episodes in advance, but I will gladly change them around for anyone who reaches out.
Oh, well, of course. Tag the hashtag, what? CLT Sandwich?
Yeah, hashtag CLT Sandwich. Let's do it.
All right, hashtag CLT Sandwich if there's anything you guys want to know. Anthony?
Yeah. I will do my best to always message back. Send me fan mail. If you send me mail asking me a question, I will handwrite a letter back every time. Guarantee it.
Well, I will see you on What an Oddcast.
Yes. And I'll see you there. Thank you for coming today.
Oh, no problem.
And stop.